It's 8-bit, you little shit, that's right, punk. Just rage and quit, I don't care, don't give a fuck. It is time for me to go level up. It's 8-bit, you little shit, that's right, punk. Just rage and quit, I don't care, don't give a fuck. It is time for me to go level up. Alright y'all, today we're talking about one of the worst games ever made, allegedly. That being Daikatana. Now no, this ain't no ripoff of Ninja Turtles, this ain't no kung fu game trying to capitalize off the Wu-Tang Clan, no. This is an original game that has a fairly interesting story behind it, and it all goes back to the Mac Daddy of first-person shooter games, Doom. This was made by John Romero, one of the two guys responsible for Doom. He also did Doom 2, and he did Quake, which was like that fantasy game that was big on the old school PC gaming computer days. Remember those games? Oh man, I remember that shit growing up. I remember MS-DOS, I ain't never forget. I remember Windows 3.1. Shout out to all you RuneScape ass motherfuckers out there. But anyway, John Romero, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna make my own company, right? I'm gonna make my own games. So he head off, he created some game company I ain't never fucking heard of. It was called Ion Storm. And so he decided that this was gonna be one of his biggest achievements, right? But let me tell you something, man. Daikatana, it fucking sucks. They put it out on PC and N64, which, you know, that just breaks my heart. Y'all should know me by now. N64 is my favorite console, right? It just hurts when you have really shitty games on N64 because, again, I love that fucking console. There's lots of great games on there, man. But this shit ain't one of them, yo. It was also on Game Boy Color, I guess, and that was like that wasn't even released over here in America. That was in other countries. Apparently, it's better. So first off, right, there's just so much story in here, and I just didn't care, man. I mean, usually I try to pay attention. I really do. I really try to pay attention to the story that's going on in these games. But let me tell you, this Wattpad-ass, fanfiction-ass story is just so uninteresting. As for the story, there's some time travel shit in there, and our main character's name's like Miyamoto, which isn't that the guy that made Nintendo, but whatever. He is sent on this ancient journey because there's some bad guys that traveled back in time and they're trying to stop the cure for some disease that happened. And then along the way, we're introduced to all these other characters that join the crew and whatever, and it's like, who the hell are these people? And apparently, I had to have someone explain this to me, but apparently these characters are actually from the PC version, not the N64 version, where they just cut out a bunch of content and a bunch of backstory. So even in the extended ass fanfiction storyline we got going on here, we still don't get to know that much about these characters. Meanwhile, in the PC version, they totally go into major detail as to who these people are and why they're joining in the team. This shit goes on for way too long. The whole first like 11 minutes of game is these opening cutscenes. It takes forever to actually get to the gameplay. And then when you get to the gameplay, it's just basically just a shitty version of Doom and games like that. It's a first-person game where you're going around, you're given a bunch of different weapons. It kind of alternates between like ancient samurai type of martial arts type shit. You know, it's kind of like that weeaboo anime ass aesthetic, right? But then you jump between that to like sci-fi shooter games, you know, kind of like Doom or maybe like, you know, early Halo 2 kind of shit like that. But then you also jump to like fantasy shit. You got like this ancient Greece fucking level where one of the bosses is you're fighting a Husa Medusa bitch. And there's another level where you're in like a medieval England type setting and you're fighting off this guy who's supposed to be a king, but he looks like a giant like demonic knight or some shit. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. The game is generous with its weapons, right? You were given so many different weapons. And this is just one of the many times I was thinking, yo, I could be playing a much better game. There's this other game on N64. It's called Turok. Good ass game. Go play Turok. It's a great fucking game. You love N64, go play Turok. Now look, one thing right here, I know a lot of N64 and PlayStation 1 games are called out for not looking very good or looking very primitive, and I get it. I understand. I'll take it on the chin. I completely agree. But let me tell you something. The graphics in this game, for the time being, when they came out, this looks like ass. This looks like absolute dog shit. These people don't look like people, they look like fucking alien zombies. These are supposed to be normal ass people that you're rescuing out of Alcatraz. Like, these is normal people. What the fuck is going on here? What is wrong with this picture? And I don't know what it is. I don't know what's wrong with all these games that I've been talking about lately, but this is another one of those games where the final boss goes down in just a couple hits. Look, I don't like final bosses that go on forever or are way too difficult. I'm not a fan of that, but you know, sometimes in games, you want to build up to like the big final boss and you know, you fucking take forever to take them down and you feel like a fucking king when you're done with it. This, just a couple hits, Fucking guy goes down like nothing. What the fuck is that shit? Don't play Daikatana. If anything, I'd say watch people's videos talking about Daikatana because it is an interesting story and there's a lot of interesting discussion around it, but nah, I don't know. I don't think this is a game worth playing, y'all. There's a reason that it's often called one of the worst games of all time.
You wanna see my katana collection?